gods with extremely bad memories. The basic belief of Hinduism and of yoga that comes from it is that we are all gods, and at the same time, we are Brahman, the supreme god of Hinduism. Yogic enlightenment is the realization that thou art. In other words, you are Brahman, the all. Does it not seem odd, however, that we must strive for this realization through the practice of yoga? What odd gods we are, who seem to have forgotten our divinity and certainly have lost our supernatural power. Astonishing though it may be, with thousands of years that have demonstrated man's fallen nature in wars and crimes for which we all ought to hang our heads in shame as members of such a proud and wicked race, the serpent's lie of the divine within is still believed. The so-called self-realization to be achieved through yoga will supposedly restore this lost memory so that we realize once again our true identity as gods. The grand awakening comes through yoga, when at last one realizes that Atman, the individual soul, is identical with Brahman, the universal soul. If that is indeed man's true identity, how could we have forgotten who we are? The very suggestion is preposterous. And what good would it do for us to remember that we are gods? Wouldn't we just forget it again? Forget it. Nor do any of the yogis who preach this delusion to their eager followers manifest any evidence that they have realized their own godhood, although they promise it to others. Maharishi Mahesh Yogi needs an airplane for flying, in spite of claiming that he teaches his followers how to fly on their own by the power of TM. Swami Sivananda needed an umbrella to keep off the rain. Yogananda traveled slowly by train across the country before commercial air transport was available. And Muktananda lived a secret life of sexual immorality, hardly worthy of an alleged God-man, and died in 1982. Nevertheless, all of the ancient texts confirm one another in explaining that yoga was developed as a means of realizing one's own godhood. This is the purpose of all the physical positions, breathing and stretching exercises, and meditation, no matter what today's advertisements say or what the novice joining his first yoga class is led to believe.